The Agency Arms Sage Dynamics Edition Compensator, possibly the best Glock compensator on the market. So for quite some time, the only way you could acquire this compensator was if you purchased the full Sage Dynamics Edition build package from Agency Arms, which would cost you anywhere from $1,500 to over $2,000. Plus, you still had to supply your own Glock 19X or Glock 45, which is another $500. And $2,000 is a lot of money to invest into a plastic pistol like a Glock. Now, earlier this year, Agency Arms made these compensators available for purchase without purchase of the full Sage Dynamics build package, and when they did, I picked one up. Now, what makes this compensator so unique is the fact that it is toolless and it is self-timing, meaning all I have to do to install this thing is thread it onto the included threaded barrel, pop in the spring and guide rod, and I'm good to go. No set screws, no Loctite. This is the easiest comp there is to install. So something really cool about this compensator is that it brings your Glock 19 length slide to the length of a Glock 17. So for holsters, it's very easy to find holsters that this pistol will fit in. Many times with compensators from other companies, the compensator is very wide, so you have to modify your holster to fit that, or the length is very odd, somewhere even longer than a Glock 34 sometimes, so you have to modify a holster to fit that. Versus this, it's gonna fit in all your standard duty holsters and everything that would normally take a Glock 17. So obviously when talking about compensators on handguns, you have to talk about how effective is this compensator. Just like any other modification you make to your handgun, you wanna make sure you're getting a good bang for your buck. And I think with this compensator you are. Now it is $400. That's not cheap, but you are getting the compensator, the barrel, and a new spring and guide rod. And remember, it's toolless and self-timed, so it's a lot easier to use and it is effective. If you go back and watch one of my earlier videos where I discussed the effectiveness of compensators on handguns, I compared this exact handgun with this exact compensator to a very similarly built Glock 17, and at the end of the tests, while they weren't very scientific, they did show a dramatic increase in speed when using this compensator, and you could visually see that decrease in the recoil. Now, of course, another question when it comes to compensators is reliability. A lot of times when you put a compensator on your pistol, because you're adding weight to the end of the barrel, and because it is a Browning style action where the barrel tilts upwards as the slide cycles, weight on the barrel can affect the cycling and reliability of the pistol. And many times with compensated pistols, you have to run 124 plus P, or some other special ammo type in order for your pistol to run. If you just run standard 115 target ammo, it may not cycle. However, that is not the case with the Sage Dynamics Edition comp. This thing will cycle all ammo. I have shot 115, 124 plus P. It is all cycled flawlessly through the pistol. Now, I have seen one reliability issue when shooting this handgun, and that is shooting off-handed, one-handed. So I am right-hand dominant, and if I shoot left-handed, my shooting isn't as good. Even though I practice occasionally, it's just not gonna be as good as shooting with my dominant hand. And sometimes I will do a little bit of limp wristing with my non-dominant hand. My grip won't be as good as it is with my right hand. And that is when I have had a couple failures to extract or failures to feed properly, and had those limp wristing style malfunctions with this compensator. So if you do not use a good grip, you will run into those limp wristing malfunctions a little bit sooner than you would with just a standard Glock, but it's not something I would be super concerned about, only if you're shooting with a poor grip, but you could be seeing those issues normally on a stock Glock. It's just slightly exacerbated with the Sage Dynamics compensator. So really quickly, I want to address some of the myths surrounding compensators. Some of these were even brought up in the comment section of my original compensator video. Some people saying that the compensator's flash is going to blind you if you're shooting in a dark room. Well, there is two things wrong with this statement. First off, if it is so dark to where you're actually seeing the muzzle flash of your pistol, you should probably be using a weapon-mounted light so you know what you're shooting. And even then, the muzzle flash is such a quick thing, it is not any greater, it is simply being diverted upward, that it's not going to be affecting your vision, even if shooting in complete darkness. Now, other things people say is that the compensator will end up shooting tons of debris and shrapnel at you if you're shooting from retention. I've shot this pistol from retention multiple times. I've never had a single issue. That is also not true. Even shooting duty ammo, there's not a ton of copper jacketing or something coming up and shredding my face.
Yo, homie. That my briefcase?
Your briefcase?
Yeah, it is. Why, you want it back?
What about your wallet?
What else you got for me? Huh?
Now, some people say, well, you don't need a compensator, you just need to get good. Well, sure. Being effective with your handgun is incredibly important, and no modification can supersede your ability to be good with your pistol. However, there's no reason not to add a modification that makes your pistol shoot better. It will objectively shoot better when it has less recoil. Less recoil is better. If I could have 0 recoil on a handgun, I would take a Star Wars laser blaster that has no recoil. But since we're not there yet, we still have recoil and we still have recoiling guns. I like to have compensators. I like to have porting. I like to have things that reduce recoil, and it's silly to say that you're less of a man or you're less of a shooter just because you want a more effective handgun. So if you liked the video, if you're gonna go pick up a Sage Dynamics compensator, or you just liked watching the video, go ahead and leave a like down below. Now, if you have any comments you want to leave, angry comments saying, oh, this compensator is going to blind you, it's going to get you killed in the streets, go ahead and leave those. If you have any other compensator experience, if a different compensator out there that you really enjoyed, or there's one that you want me to take a look at, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Otherwise, guys, I release new videos every Saturday, so subscribe and stay tuned.